Antwiagyeikrom is one of the 925 communities we currently work in. As an organization, we are in these districts to empower children, safeguard their rights and responsibilities through sensitization, advocacy, and remediation. And as a result of that, we came across one of the communities that has a serious issue, and that is Antwiagyeikrom, and is surrounded by Bia River, which has divided the community. So children from the other areas access education at the other side, and is one of the difficulties that they go through. And for us, we think that there's a need for us to highlight this for authorities to take note of what is needed to be done.
MAGHS 2016.
I came to Antwiagyeikrom Junior High School in 2016. When I got here, the enrollment rate was very low. Because of the Bia River, children are unable to cross over to attend school. There are many other villages like Pese, Achiase, Amangwase, Amadunkwanta, and others that are beyond the river. When I went there, I noticed there were many children of school-going age, but their parents were afraid for their children crossing the river to school every day. I had to convince some of the parents to allow their children to come to school. I volunteered to pick the children across the river every morning and bring them back when they close from school. In 2017, the enrollment rate started increasing gradually, but some parents were still not convinced enough. Sometimes the river carries the canoe away, and I would have to organize people in the community to help find the canoe. I sometimes get to school very late and tired because I have to go around the villages picking children beyond the river to school. When the river overflows its boundaries, most parents do not allow their children to come to school until the water level subsides. We are pleading with authorities to come to our aid.
In my interaction with the community, there's an appeal made by one of the many parents that I had a discussion with.
I have been living in this community for the past 30 years, and our major problem is crossing the Bia River. Many of our children are unable to attend school. If not for Teacher Naja, most of our children will be dropouts. Sometimes he swims to pick the children to school, but there are many children who are left behind. All our farm produce are brought to Antwiagyeikrom, but because we are unable to cross the river, sometimes we lose all our harvest. All we are asking for is a bridge across the river.
In my interaction with the chief also, he also laid emphasis on the community and the many people that have accessed the school in that particular community.
We started school in 1974.
I started schooling here in 1974. Most of my classmates were from towns beyond the river. Many of them dropped out of school because they could not cross when the river overflowed its bank. Due to the fact that we were surrounded by the river, we face a lot of challenges. Despite all the challenges we face, we have set our minds to ensure that development comes to our community. Formerly, we only had a primary school, but gradually, we have built a junior high school in addition, and the students are doing very well. We have also built a quarters to house the teachers. The school park was not in a good condition, so we have purchased a mower for keeping the place clean. Currently, we are building a public toilet which is almost completed. When it comes to the development in this community, we do not wait for government. we always take the initiative. Our major worry in Antwiagyeikrom is crossing the river that surrounds us. Most of our farmlands are across the river, so once the river overflows, we cannot go to our farms and the children from other communities cannot come to school. When pregnant women who live on the other side are in labor, it is an eyesore. There are days that children get to the riverside and there is no teacher or elderly person to help them cross. We are pleading with Child Rights International, other NGOs, and the government to help us construct a bridge across the Bia River at Antwiagyeikrom.
It is not tired for many for say, Madam, Muni, Namun Kabi.
So this is a daily routine for the Ghanaian child in Antwiagyeikrom and its surrounding communities who desire to have access to education, which is the right of every child. For the risks involved, there are many and there are no limits.
We have been living in this community for the past 30 years, and all our children school here. If not for teacher Naja, I wonder what we would have done. As a cocoa farmer, our major challenge is transporting our farm produce. Sometimes our dried cocoa beans pour into the river and would have to dry them all over again. We are pleading with the government to build a bridge across the river to make transportation easier and safer for us.
According to the community members, Antwiagyeikrom has produced a number of prominent individuals.
The Antwiagyeikrom School has produced many prominent people like Dr. Osei Bonsu Ajimai. The absence of a bridge is our major concern. Now the river has overflowed its boundaries. You have seen it for yourselves.
In light of these uncertainties, some parents in the surrounding communities have taken measures to rent places in the other side of the community in order for children to have access to education, especially when they are writing any exams, especially when it comes to the BEC exams. And children who get this support from the parent live on their own without any protective care at the other side of the river, especially the care that they require from their parents.
Because of the risk of crossing the river on daily basis to study and write my BC, I have left my village to Antwiagyeikrom. I currently live with my auntie so I can complete my studies.
The children are not left out in this particular campaign for change because they've also expressed their opinion.
I'm in primary 4. When my friends and I are going to school and arrive at the bank of the river, we sometimes do not have a boat to cross to the other side of the river. This is so because the boatman would have sent other people to the other side of the river. We then have to wait for him to get back. When he eventually comes and transports us to school, we end up getting to school late and in wet clothes due to the poor condition of the boat. We are pleading with the government to come to our aid to construct a bridge so we will be able to go to school to learn, to be responsible, and also take care of our parents.
A week after I visited the community, I received a report that a 13-year-old girl, a class 4 pupil, had drowned on one of such journeys across the river. concern is how many more children will go through the same ordeal. All that the people request for is a bridge to be constructed so that children on the other side have access to education in a supportive and safe environment.